When the dust settled in Azerbaijan, McLaren's weekend had completely unraveled. Oscar Piastri crashed out on the very first lap, leaving the team reeling before the race had even begun. Lando Norris fared little better, managing only 7th place and collecting just 6 points for McLaren's championship bid. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen delivered a flawless performance, securing his 2nd consecutive victory and slashing the once insurmountable championship gap down to 69 points. What was meant to be McLaren's season of dominance suddenly looked fragile, rattled to its core. Team boss Zak Brown and Andrea Stella didn't hold back after Baku, openly admitting what many in the paddock had been whispering for weeks. Verstappen is once again a serious threat, and with Red Bull's upgrades already showing their strength, the 2025 title fight could be on the verge of spiraling into one of Formula One's most chaotic three-way battles in years. Before we dive into the twists and theories surrounding this seismic shift in the 2025 title battle, make sure to subscribe to F1 Insider, because the next few weeks of this season could rewrite Formula One history. So, is this the beginning of Max Verstappen's greatest ever comeback? Can Red Bull's upgrades truly sustain this relentless charge? Or will McLaren strike back under the lights of Singapore to reassert their control over the championship? And more importantly, can Piastri and Norris hold their nerve when the pressure is at its peak? Or are we about to see the first real cracks start to widen within McLaren's armor? The Azerbaijan Grand Prix was supposed to serve as a stepping stone for McLaren's title ambitions. After months of consistency and strong results, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris looked set to tighten their grip on the championship picture. But in the high-speed chaos of Baku, everything changed. McLaren stumbled badly, and Max Verstappen pounced like a predator sensing weakness. What had once been dismissed as a distant mathematical possibility suddenly became a living, breathing threat. Verstappen was back. And McLaren knew it. McLaren's problems began even before the lights went out on Sunday. Qualifying set the tone for a difficult weekend. Both Norris and Piastri made costly mistakes in Q3, brushing the barriers and ending their sessions prematurely. As a result, Norris was forced to settle for 7th while Piastri lined up 9th. On the other side, Verstappen delivered an ice-cold lap to secure pole, already signaling what was to come. Red Bull in control, McLaren chasing shadows. Race day only added to the misery. Piastri, desperate to make up ground, jumped the start, his car dropping into anti-stall and tumbling to the back of the field. To his credit, the Australian fought back through the opening corners, but the fight was short-lived. Pushing too hard into turn 5, he misjudged his braking and ended up in the barriers. A rare mistake from a driver who had been nearly faultless all season. No points, no redemption, just a broken car and a broken weekend. Norris didn't fare much better. Starting 7 pesos, he became trapped in a stubborn DRS train behind Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson. For a driver who has spent the season battling at the front, the frustration was visible. He eventually crossed the line in 7th, exactly where he started, leaving McLaren with just 6 points when so much more had been expected. Andrea Stella's blunt post-race verdict summed it up best. This was not a good day for either driver. For a team leading both championships, it was nothing short of a disaster. While McLaren faltered, Verstappen thrived. This wasn't just another victory. It was a masterclass in control and authority. Red Bull's latest upgrades, first introduced in Monza, have transformed the RB21 into a weapon. No longer limited to excelling on low-drag tracks, the car now looks competitive everywhere, in medium-speed corners, low-speed sections, and on the straights. Verstappen exploited the package to perfection. From pole position, he controlled the race with surgical precision, managed his tires effortlessly, and never once looked under threat. Every lap carried a statement. This was not just about scoring maximum points, but about sending a message to McLaren and the rest of the grid. I'm still here. It was the kind of performance that doesn't just earn trophies, it breaks morale. And that is exactly what worries McLaren. After the race in Baku, Andrea Stella was candid in his assessment. We're talking about Max Verstappen. We're talking about Red Bull. His words weren't casual. They carried a tone of respect mixed with real concern. Stella knows that when Verstappen has a competitive car underneath him, his consistency can be relentless. Zak Brown echoed those fears, admitting that his team must remain on high alert against a Verstappen charge. For a team that had been building confidence all season, those statements marked a noticeable shift in mentality. McLaren, once looking forward with momentum, is now glancing nervously over its shoulder. The numbers themselves tell the story. Before Monza, Verstappen trailed Oscar Piastri by a daunting 104 points, a gap that looked nearly impossible to close. But after back-to-back wins, that deficit has been slashed to just 69. Lando Norris, who once sat comfortably ahead of Verstappen, now finds his cushion reduced to only 44 points. With 10 rounds still to go, those margins are no longer safe. All it would take is one more slip-up, one more weekend like Baku, and the balance of power in this championship could swing dramatically. Not everyone views the situation the same way. Jacques Villeneuve, never one to mince words, firmly believes that Verstappen can absolutely win this championship. His reasoning is simple: momentum. Once a driver like Verstappen gets rolling, he becomes almost unstoppable. And if Red Bull's development path keeps climbing, Villeneuve sees no reason why the reigning champion can't complete the comeback. Charles Leclerc, however, remains skeptical. In his view, the battle still lies between Piastri and Norris, and he admitted he would be genuinely surprised if Verstappen managed to pull off such a recovery. Yet even Leclerc, despite his doubts, acknowledged the clear step forward Red Bull has made in recent races. The intrigue only deepens when you look inside McLaren itself. Up until now, Piastri and Norris have coexisted without much friction, each showcasing their strengths, but united by the team's overall success. Yet, if Verstappen continues to eat into their lead, McLaren could soon face a very difficult decision. The sensational young talent who has led much of the title charge so far. These are the kinds of decisions that can fracture team harmony. Red Bull, by contrast, faces no such dilemma. Their loyalty to Verstappen is absolute, and that clarity could prove to be a decisive advantage in the battles to come. Another factor that can't be ignored is pressure. Both Norris and Piastri are still relatively young when it comes to championship battles. Neither has ever been in a knife-edge three-way fight for the title with someone as ruthless as Verstappen breathing down their necks. Mistakes like the one seen in Baku can snowball quickly when the psychological weight intensifies. Every qualifying run, every pit stop, every overtaking attempt becomes a potential flashpoint. And in those high-stress moments, Verstappen thrives. He has been here before. He knows how to exploit the weaknesses of his rivals, both on and off the track. That experience could prove to be McLaren's biggest vulnerability as the season unfolds. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this fight is no longer just about points. It's about psychology, momentum, and survival. The championship battle has been thrown wide open, and every race from here could shape the destiny of 2025.